Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton and Adam here as we are weekly. Start off by wishing Adam a happy birthday, as everybody has
Thank you
already
very
started down
much.
the
Thank
chat.
you for those in the chat as well.
Are you officially grown up now, or are you officially over the hill? Be careful because you don't insult any of our other viewers that are at the same bracket you are.
Do you wear those glasses to see far distance, or do you need them to read?
I need them to read.
I'm sorry, what was your question again?
How old are you? You're 50
I
now, for
turned
real?
50, I turned 50 yesterday, yeah. And, 40 didn't sit well with me, but my 40s were a great decade. I enjoyed my 40s. Oh, very cool. Randy's wife's birthday was yesterday.
I think you're off to a good start for your 50s. You're going to be all right. And
I
yeah,
think I'll be all
I
right.
had great vision forever, and now I actually have to start carrying these out in public because someone handed me something. I was trying to, I don't know, it was at one of the hotels on the weekend or something, and I can't read that. It was so bad, so bad. We had a wild weekend. I still feel like I'm a little bit hungover, and I didn't have more than probably 2 beers all weekend. With the Salvo rain out, which was a wild night. Like so many different things. That's the first time we ever had to pull all our camera people off the roof. We'll discuss that. We have the winner, Dale Shaw, coming to join us. What a wild night at Osh Weekend. We're going to talk about that too. Darren Dryden, the winner from that night, will come out and talk to us about the 360s. We got a lot of good things to talk about. And Spencer Lewis is going to join us later from Sunset to talk about what he knows. He says he doesn't have a lot of information, but we can talk about the events they've got coming up. He can help us set up the APC race coming up there this Saturday as well. Before we get too much further, Adam, I do want to mention it was brought just when we were talking about a couple things that we should be trying to get some people out to watch the go-karts and micro sprints on Thursdays, because to show these racers, young and old, from the open flat carts to the box stocks in the beginning. We got 15 drivers in these classes, and these kids are racing hard. If you're not checking it out, live here 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. We only have a couple weeks left. Make sure you're checking it out on GeForce. Come out and see it. It's $10 to get in. Your regular pit waiver gets you in if you've done it already on Fridays. We would love to see you come out on a Thursday and cheer these kids on, because the racing is absolutely badass that these kids are putting together. So make sure you come out and check it out. As we get ready to welcome Darren Dryden, I got all my D Shaws. Darren Dryden to the program. Oh my goodness, is that's all the way just to talk about Friday, Adam. We had track issues if you didn't see it. And, we sit here and throw rocks at everybody else's house, so we're going to have to break some glass on our house tonight because it was rough, man.
You know what it reminds me of, Clint? It reminds me of when the NASCAR series goes to Edmonton and has 10 cars or 11 cars, and it's like it doesn't even need to be said. That's not acceptable. That those track conditions were not acceptable, and there's science behind it. And I don't know how deep you want to get into that, but no, nobody at the track wants it to be like that.
Let's bring Darren on. He can sit in with us while we talk about it, and we don't necessarily need to get into our interview with him. He can jump in when he wants, just to have a little chat with us. But let's talk with Adam about the science. Go ahead, shoot away. I'll tell you what I know. I can tell you my perspective on what I was told. Welcome, Darren, to the show. We'll get to you in a second. Feel free to chime in if you got anything to say. Adam,
yeah, man, thanks for being here.
Science.
So there's different ways to prep a dirt track, and the funny thing is, if you follow social media, so many people are so very wrong. Like, oh, they didn't touch that track from last Friday. They just put some water. No, the track always gets worked over. Generally, you'll take top layers of the track off, scrape it off, turn it off, till it off, however you want to call it. If you want to make a big change to your racetrack, you will dig deeper into the clay. You'll dig deeper down, either to disperse moisture or to draw in more moisture before you pack it again. And if I'm not mistaken, the track was opened fairly deep last week, and then torrential downpours came, and there's nothing you can do with it at that point because you can't draw the water out because there's too much of it in there, and it just became like a great big sponge. And that sponge, like if you walked on the track afterwards, I could stand on one of the bumps and it would sink about 6 inches. It was so soft. So it's almost like a living organism. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Is
that's a
that
good way to put it. The other bit of the science that, and you never know. Everybody's got a different perspective on this whole track prep deal. Whoever you talk to, they got a different recipe, right? One thing Glenn has always said, along with Zigger, is that city water is bad for our track. So if we can fill up the pond with rainwater and keep natural water on that, rainwater, that kind of stuff. 2 weeks ago, when everything was in the fire ban and everything was so dry before we got any kind of rain around here, we actually had to use hydrants for 2 days to fill up the pond so we could prep the track. So part of that could be the chemical makeup of the city water combining with the clay. That's another thing he said. But there was no doubt, Adam, way too much water in it. There was too much moisture. Couldn't get out. Couldn't deal with it. Darren, though, what a ride, man. If you folks didn't see the race on Friday, we'll get back to more of the drama and the headaches I had to go through on Friday as the manager of the place. But Darren, talk about your night. Pretty wild. Spencer, if you got any clips, feel free to run them. But, man, it was a crazy night. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, we're honestly, super stoked to finally get a win at Oshwegan. It was definitely big for us. Obviously, the track conditions were not ideal for many. It definitely, came into some danger aspects and stuff. But when we have character in the track, we seem to do a little bit better. And I don't know. I had a blast running on it. I know it could end, poorly for anyone, even myself. But I can't believe how the night ended up, and to see us in victory lane, it was super cool for the whole entire team and everybody that supports us.
Darren, you've got a grizzled veteran pit crew, but you've also got one of the grumpiest pit crews in the pits. How difficult was it for them to embrace that win? Because they, and rightfully so, they would be as vocal as anyone to say, man, that racetrack was unacceptable.
Yeah, and I mean, my team probably didn't really think I could run a cowboy up type of track that's even beyond cowboy up there. It was something that you don't really see even across the border or anything like that. It's not something that any track really strives for. I'm sure they were a little bit shocked with it, and at the end of the day, us coming out on top, of course we're gonna joke around saying how much we love the track and all that. Of course, character can be in the track, but ruts that are probably as deep as, well, basically I'm going under caution and my floor pan's scraping, like that kind of thing, right? We definitely were in some deep ruts, and it was beyond soft. We still, made a great race out of it and had some good battles. But things, could easily go south for anyone. Definitely, happy that nobody got injured in our division, and through, the speeds we're traveling over across all these ruts and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we weren't really going to be complaining too much just because of how the night ended up for us.
Darren, I talked to a few of your fellow competitors. You were on a death wish Friday, if you ask anybody around you. I don't think there's any of us who watched that last 5 to 7 laps of that race who didn't think you were going to crash your ass off. I don't think anybody thought you were going to be able to make it the way you were driving and just smashing through that. Obviously, as a track, we know we got to be better. And, you've been around long enough, not as long as we have, but that's probably the second worst conditions I've seen in 30 years. So we'll get it fixed up going into nationals. There's no doubt. But man, at any point did you think I got to back off this? Or all I kept thinking is this is a product of you letting the one get away at Eldora a few weeks ago, and you were not about to let this GLSS race escape.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't backing down. And I mean, it probably looked definitely looked erratic, but at the same time, I definitely did still, feel relatively comfortable considering how it looked. And I knew if I was going to slow down any bit, especially through lap traffic, that's when my car began to struggle and really got, ate up into the ruts and stuff. So as long as I stayed on top of the track, we were good. And what surprised me is I think it was lap 24. We were in the 13 seconds, which At the end of the race, you're usually not getting faster. And at that point, it probably, kind of showed how much I did want it and I wasn't going to, back down. I knew Dylan was behind me. You see it on the scoreboard. And, you're not going to throw it away. So I knew I had to just repeat the laps I was doing and run a relatively similar line. And I found something that worked for me. And yeah, it definitely looked like it was a handful, but I was, pretty much I felt in control for how uncontrollable it looked.
And that's a good way to put it. What does that do? We're gonna watch a little footage here, the last couple of laps from where I sit. So we're in the tower at the start finish line. You came out of turn 4, pointed a different direction every lap, like just the way the car was lurching. But the one thing you weren't doing was lifting. That's kind of my vantage point. So you'd see the car this way, that way. But man, it was fun to watch. Have you guys gone through it? Darren, I'm sure you've had the car apart since the weekend. How's everything looking?
Yeah, honestly, I got to thank the whole team for the nut and bolt check even before the race. I couldn't believe we were able to, keep it together. You guys will probably see a video that I post with some of the in-car clips and stuff soon. Yeah, it was wild. And obviously we raced the next day too. So early morning they were on it, looking all the way through the car. We had drag link bent. We had some things bent up. I think we were hammering out body panels for a few hours and all this and that. So we took a lot of abuse, even though we were leading, and it was definitely a heavy track. And yeah, it was wild. And I'm definitely thankful our car, held together. It was wild to even, look back and watch the GoPro to see what I was dealing with. It's always different in the heat of the moment than, to actually sit back and watch it.
Let's switch gears now. Before we come back, I want to come back to the Nationals before we let him go at him to talk about that in a couple weeks. But let's jump over to Saturday at Buxton. Darren, Buxton's had a bit of turmoil here with sprint cars, up and down, car counts. GLSS, SOS came together, pulled together a great show on Saturday. Adam wasn't with us, but our G-Force crew went out for dinner Saturday, and we went back to the hotel and watched it on the GLSS TV deal. It was a great race, great turnout. What are your thoughts on the Buxton deal now? Are we ready for sprint cars? Are we going to be able to pull cars there? Because even from the crate side, we're talking about bringing the Action Sprint Tour back, and that's a question. Do we take them to Buxton or not? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I honestly think they put on a great track for us. They're always able to work the track throughout the night if it's ever, a worry. Throughout the night, they just gave us a really good track, had a little bit of character. It was safe for everybody. A little bit of a hole that may have developed in the 3, but they actually got rid of it before the feature. So yeah, all around, I think they put on a great show for us, and the fans love that place. It would be nice to see a lot, more, not, shy away from it. And, I know there's been things in the past while they were trying to get things going there, but, Will and the team there, they're definitely doing a great job. And I think it's a great track for sprint cars for sure. It definitely, suits the way our cars are there to be, to be raced.
What's got you most excited about the rest of the season, some of the big events coming up, Darren?
Yeah, obviously Nationals we're super excited about. We ran ran really well there last year, making the dash. So that was a huge thing for us. We know we got a, better notebook going into it this year. And then obviously we're going to be making another trip back to Eldora. So we're excited for that. And then, to finish off the SOS championship, we hope to be able to lock that up in Merrittville. So we're excited about that too.
Right on. Nationals coming up, big race. Any prediction on car counts? Let me ask you a better question. Do you think Friday will shy away some of the GLS guys from coming back to Nationals?
I would say no. A lot of them definitely had an understanding that wasn't meant to be like that. And I think another benefit was that we didn't lose any of their cars that night. I think if anybody had a bad night from GLSS, they probably, may not want to come back. But I think they have faith in us and the whole team at Oswego that they're going to, provide a safe track, especially for Nationals. And when you see that they run, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it gives a lot more time to get that track the way it needs to be too. So I don't think we're going to see anybody shy away from it. I think if anything, it's going to make them more excited to come back for a track that they may, expect more.
Right on.
Well, Darren, it was fun to watch. Congratulations. I was pleased for you that you got it done. I don't have a whole lot for you, man. Just happy for you. It's nice to see another new winner. It's just a good time to be a sprint car fan at Ashwegan.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it. It was definitely a huge deal for the whole team, and we're excited to see that we can be in contention there at not only the other tracks but Ashwegan too now.
Right on, Darren. Good luck the rest of the season. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate it.
Adam, big weekend at Brighton too for the 360s. Let's not forget that, and the crates coming up this weekend. It's their big Labor Day classic for the sprint cars. Both classes in attendance, both nights, Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you check it out. You're planning on heading down there, right?
Yeah, I'll be down there for the Sunday night. Of course, Saturday we're at Sunset Speedway with the APC series. Friday at Ashwegan. Saturday during the day at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Yeah, we got crazy weekend ahead. Let's talk about last weekend. Spencer, show the crew shot if you can. We got rained out on Saturday, so it was good to take the boys out. We had a good, at Montana's. Thanks, Spencer. It was good to hang out with the guys and just, chill out. Not too often we get to do that. You get invited out by the APC guys sometimes, and you've invited me too. But man, after the race, I just want to go home.
I get it. When was the last time you bought me dinner at a restaurant? Huh?
I don't
know. My
know.
Invitation got lost in the mail. Did the pigeon get sick as it was flying my invitation to me?
I'm trying to think when was the last time I bought you anything. It's been a while. I probably bought you a parfait a year ago, somewhere along the way.
I buy my own parfaits.
There would have been one time I might have been at the counter. Don't you make me out to be a cheap bastard, and Spencer can vouch. Hey, and so can Ricky. I buy the track crew subs every week.
You're far from a cheap bastard. You just don't like me. That's the moral of the story.
I will take that.
Wow.
So
I heard
Ashwegan was wild. That's certainly no doubt about it. We put that one to bed. Nationals tickets are available. Go online, buy your tickets, get your camping, get everything you need to know. We have mini stocks, thunder stocks on Thursday, and crate nationals Friday, and then the 360 nationals, 20,000 to win, 2,000 to start Saturday night. Go ahead, Adam. I cut you off there.
No, I forget what I was going to say. Jason and Angela, he needs to buy a new damn tower. But yes, the chair, the noises that come out of that chair are wild. Like even Greg Calvin has looked concerned for me at times.
I was looking at Dan and Spencer's chair in the trailer at Sobel because we had a lot of time to sit around in the rain and joke. And I told him I'm going to get them the vibrating heated chairs like I used to have in my office. And if I got them in the tower, you and Greg would both be asleep. Speaking of asleep, show the meme that came out on our way home from Sobel about Adam. There you go. Happy birthday, Adam, from your friend.
Yeah, that was actually a picture
that was great.
Thankfully, he turned into a meme.
I love it.
I tried to stay awake for a bit, and then it just wasn't happening.
AI is beautiful. Let's bring in another racer who's beautiful, our buddy Dale Shaw. Dale, I like Dale because he's one of the nicer guys in the pits, gives us straight shit. I don't remember last time I've ever seen Dale get mad. But man, Dale, what a run. Rain shortened event. But still, you were having a hell of a battle. You held on for pretty much from the start of that race. Start up front. Take us through your weekend. Let's back things up a bit, Adam. So at what point did you think that rain might be an issue on the weekend? Because you're also responsible for bringing multiple cars to the track. So your logistics are a lot more difficult than, say, a single car team deal. So I got the call maybe noon on Friday if there may be concerns about the weekend. When did they start letting you guys know?
Well, to be honest with you guys, we kind of look at the weather at the beginning of the week because it kind of changes the way we set our race cars up too. So we follow temperature forecast, sunny, cloudy, precipitation all week. We were prepared to load up and head Saturday. Worked out good that they held off till Sunday, obviously. But yeah, so when my cars are ready, they get picked up and they're gone. So I just kind of got to make sure my car gets in the trailer. And then when we get to the racetrack, we go from there. But yeah, it sure was an interesting day. That's for sure.
Now, Dale, almost 10 years since your last win. I mean, you would think you've been good enough to win on a lot of occasions. You would think Lady Luck would have shined on you at least once in the last 10 years. What's up with that?
Yeah, I've got a lot of second place finishes. Like I think there was, I can't even remember if it was a couple of years ago. I finished second both nights, both sunset races. I got passed in the last 10 laps for the win. It's tough, man. Like people don't realize that the guys who race in the APC series are the best asphalt late model racers in Ontario, maybe Canada, maybe the best racers in Ontario, asphalt racers. I don't know how to compare disciplines and whatnot, but like that kid in that 22 car, like I seen him miss one corner the whole race and he got free in and he pulled me a car and a half off the corner. Like he can take a missed corner and still drive away from you. It's incredible. But yeah, no, it's been a long time, a lot of hard work. But I think it comes down to our cars are a lot better right now. Like we got behind a couple years and I think we're caught up with the technology stuff right now. I'm actually enjoying watching the race here. But I think we're getting caught up and I think we're close. And I feel like right now, like when I unload at pretty much any racetrack in Ontario, we have a good shot of running top 3, if not winning right now. So it's pretty exciting and it makes it easier to get up Monday morning at 8:00 and get out to the shop and start ripping the first race car apart, getting ready for next weekend.
When you talk about watching the weather, Dale, we get to Sunday. Okay, so Saturday rains out. We all move on to Sunday. Mm-hmm. Sunday was hot as hell in the daytime. And then it goes to like Wizard of Oz kind of skies. It was wild stuff we were looking at there throughout the race. You want to talk about a change in that. How do you set up for that? Knowing you start your day in the hot sun and then it changes that. Were you predicting it was going to go to that? Or was that, where were you guys in that mix?
So, we talked about this last week. One of the interesting things about this race was that was 2 APC races in a row at the same racetrack. We just don't do that like with the tour. Like I don't think they've done that in the history of the tour. So take us back to the last race. We started out really good, and as it cooled down, we just got tighter and tighter and tighter. And we went back to work, and I started our cars freer this time around, just be prepared to cool down. Because I've talked to Jamie about this before. Like there's no tire fall off. The tire is hard. It's durable. You just have to chase the weather and chase the racetrack. And we were kind of prepared for it. I felt like personally, if that race runs to the end, I think the 22 car was a little tighter than me. I was a little too free. And I felt like it would have been a really good battle at the end because I think my car was coming in and his car maybe was going away a little bit. He's still really good and it would have been really freaking hard to beat him. But I felt like we were in a really good spot and I just felt like I hit the balance right for the day and the weather and everything and the rain and whatnot. Everything was awesome.
Talk about the final restart. And I spoke to you at the track and you explained it well to me. I thought you jumped the final restart. And you'd had a few restarts. It was fun to watch you try different things. And that last one, like, man, he just took off earlier. What was the reality of that?
So actually it's funny. I watched my phone just went. There we go. So I watched the race. I watched the broadcast back. When did I watch that? Monday. I don't know, at some point this week. And a word you used to describe my restarts was creative. And I take offense to that, Adam, because I felt like I didn't jump one restart the whole race. The restart I did go before Kyle. I lifted before the line. We were even at the line, and I let him beat me into one just to make sure nothing happened. That last restart, he fired just a hair before I did. And then somebody may have lifted his rear tires up off the ground behind him. And my rear tires were on the ground, and we just kind of pulled off, and it was good. So, but yeah, the restarts were fun. And honestly, I like racing against Kyle because I know he's not going to drive into you. He's probably not even going to drive into you by accident. And like, we didn't touch each other. We raced, around each other for all 50 something laps the whole race. So you can't ask for more than that.
No, you can't. And when I said you were being creative, I thought Kyle's restarts were really consistent. And I thought you were trying different spots to hang back a little bit and get a run, or to stay right beside him and try to keep up with. That was the creativity that I was watching of you trying to keep pace with him coming to a restart, because you were changing things up a little bit to try. Now, you weren't doing anything deceitful or deceiving. You're just side by side with the 22. You could not pull the same as he could on a restart.
And one thing I was a little surprised by in that race, and I'll probably end up talking to Kyle this weekend at some point, was I felt like he did the same thing every time. And I don't know if that was just him saving his tricks for the end of the race or whatever. But when you're in second, like, there's only so many things you can do. You can try and, ride on his left rear tire. You can try and ride in front of him. You can try and time it. There's lots of things you do. Whereas with your leader, you can either go early or late. And you kind of got to, like, it was almost like he was saving the tricks for the end of the race. And, I got lucky by the guy who was behind him at the time on that restart. And got lucky by the rain. Honestly, we just got lucky. Like, the whole day was luck with qualifying, being rained out, starting where I did. We hit the setup good. We hit the weather good, and it's all good.
Was that a race to halfway from the drop of the Greendale, or was there a part way through the race that the crew said, we're not going to get to 100, make sure you get this out front and stay there?
So my cousin Blaze, who spots for me, he actually had the radar out the whole race. Every caution we were going through what the radar was looking like. But my car, my balance was coming, but it wasn't there yet. So I couldn't really do anything with the 22 yet. So like we knew the rain was coming, but I just didn't quite have enough car to be able to get him. Like, I think if my car was a little closer to his, we probably would have been more aggressive. But like he was wearing the radar out. And the funny thing was, there was one time he actually came on the radio and said, the radar says it's raining right now, and it's not. So that's when you go, well, is it going to rain at all? Like, are we, what's going to happen? But there was twice during that race. One time I went into one on a restart, and there was so much rain on my windshield, I actually lost vision of the corner. Like, I'm not a go-karter. I've never done any racing in the rain. I've never raced dirt, so I've never looked out of anything other than just a windshield, right? And so that was interesting. And then another one, a caution came out, and I drove into 3 as the yellow come out, and I actually slid up the racetrack because it didn't start raining. So we got lucky. The cautions came when they did. And honestly, there was a lot of really sketchy moments during that race. I
don't doubt it. Most importantly, Dale, should there have been more bone stocks out there drying that track off?
So I feel bad for those guys because I grew up racing 4 cylinders. It was mini stocks back then, but they were basically bone stocks. Our stuff was rear wheel drive, and it just didn't seem like they were making progress drying the racetrack. Like, I think it was so wet and cold that, like, I don't know what you could have done. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that track was still wet when we started that race. Like, the bottom,
big time.
Yeah, the bottom of both ends of the racetrack. Like, if you got down by the curb, it was wet. And another thing, I lucked out. We were starting on the outside because the bottom was wet, the second groove was dry, and like, if you wanted to arc your corners, it was wet. So it kind of reminded me of one of the IMSA races or the Formula One where the track dries and it's very narrow and it's one lane. That's what it felt like to race on it. So yeah, that was a sketchy night of weather for sure. And then, man, when that storm came, holy shmoly, like, you could feel the temperature in the race car drop, like when that storm rolled in, and then all of a sudden it was like pitch black and you couldn't see anything. Like, I've never seen anything quite like that before in my life.
I was really impressed with the crowd that showed up Sunday.
Yeah.
For rain dates are always really hard to draw a crowd. Not only for the crowd that showed up, for the people that stuck around. They went to their cars, they went wherever they had to go during the delay, and then they were back for the race. And this is that was the moment when things really opened up.
Yeah,
I was really pleased.
Show that again, Spencer. Show it again, Spencer. If you watch carefully, right now, not raining, and then it just opens up right there. Like, it just started coming down like crazy.
So 2 things I want to point out to you guys, and the camera kind of catches it, but we did like 4 laps, like, in the monsoon weather. Like our cars are full of water right now. And if you watch the last lap we come through, Steckley obviously was a little upset with what happened. He does like a slide all the way through 3 and 4 with his foot into it, like flat sideways, turn right. It was really cool. I think the camera might catch it. I think it actually happened right. Oh, it doesn't catch it. It was pretty wild.
He just started the slide right there.
He is so freaking good.
since you brought it up, Dale,
Yep.
why was Kyle upset? Why does
Well,
Kyle feel like he won that race?
so a couple things. First of all, if you go look at Race Monitor, I had the lead on the last fully completed lap by 0.010, which is basically a blink, I guess. He had the better car up until then, and obviously he had help on that restart not being able to go, and then he got back by me again, and then the 81 spun out, didn't get to the line, so that lap didn't count, and then they went back another lap again. So like, when I say I got lucky, Adam, like I probably should have went and bought a lottery ticket on Monday, because just nothing went wrong Sunday. Like everything was perfect. I don't know what I do differently to the race car. Like I haven't had a day go that correct, or that everything go the way it should be, probably in my racing career. Like I felt like we could do no wrong, I guess, on Sunday. And it feels good, because I've had a lot of days where I've done a lot of wrong in my racing career.
No, for sure, man.
Yep.
And you were just on last week, but we had to bring you on again because, your first win in 10 years. That's a big freaking deal. So we're happy for you. Obviously, if you are a race car driver and you want to win, you need to be on our show on a Tuesday. So Darren Dryden and you're it.
Well, and so I've been running the Sunset Weekly deal, which you guys got Spencer going on soon. But we just won my first race of the year there last Saturday. So we're 2 wins in a row right now. And we're close in their points deal there. We're getting closer in the APC deal. So it's been a couple good weeks, a couple weeks in a row. And we got a big weekend coming up this weekend.
Well, if you keep winning,
Dale,
here's the deal. If you win this weekend, even once on the weekend, we'll have you on again next Tuesday.
Clinton was going to ask a question. I know the question is going to go. Go ahead, Clinton.
I just want to talk about points, Dale. Things tightened up. This series has been wild because it seems like whoever's in 4th or 5th seems to get the breaks they need. We are, Stoddy's got the lead. Steckley's 6 points behind. You're 11 out of this championship with 2 races to go. You could still be the APC champion this year. Do you have your sights on that trophy?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to, like, to be really honest with you, we got to win this weekend. Like, we don't win this weekend, we don't. Like, we were good at Delaware last time we went there, but, like, it's an uphill battle to outrun those guys. But I would say it was an uphill battle to outrun those guys at Sawville, too. So I would love to. Like, I posted the meme on Facebook tonight of Sunset Speedway. Like, I love that place. We run good there. The weekly stuff, we're getting better and better every week. The last night out, we won. We're really good. Got the pole by a bunch. So there's a chance, like there's a way. And honestly, I needed to win Sawville, so we can check that off the list. We got to win Sunset this weekend, and then we need Delaware to go our way. And, it's possible, I guess, after this weekend. So you can't ask for any more than that against the group I race against, right?
Right on.
No, you're absolutely right. Like some great racers. Fun to see drivers this year that haven't been at the front. I mean, Sean Chenoweth's had some tough years. Cole Quinton, I think he finished 6th, but I think that's the best race I've watched him drive through those restarts. So there's a lot of talent out there that you got to contend with, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. This weekend is kind of crazy for us. So this is my craziest week of the year. So we got to turn around 3 race cars from this weekend, get them ready to go to Sunset this weekend. But I also got to race Sunday. So I got to have, I think I counted, I'm going to end up with 22 tires at the racetrack this weekend. I got to bring home on Sunday. We're also camping at the racetrack this weekend. So we got to bring like 4 campers up on Friday. I got to bring up like 8 drums or cans of fuel. This is the craziest week of the year, and I spent my last night pressure washing the mud out of the race car behind me. So it's been an interesting week so far.
And what would you rather be doing?
Man, I don't know, because I'm not good at anything else. We figured that out a long time ago. That's about all I know. So we're finally getting close to keeping up with the rest of the province. So like life's good. I can't ask for any more, right?
Right on, man.
Right on, yeah. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you Saturday. The
Thanks,
APC
boys.
series is
Before you go, Dale, how many races has your grandfather been to this year?
As in Grandpa Shaw?
Yeah.
I think he missed one. He was a little under the weather one week this year, but I'm going to end up running something like 20 races this year, something ludicrous.
And he's been at all of them?
Yep. He missed one because he wasn't feeling good. They took him to the doctor, gave him some meds, and he's all back up. So you were talking about the fans sitting in the grandstands. They went out to their vehicle Sunday, come back in, got soaked, went to the vehicle, come back in. Like, my family is incredible. My grandma on my mom's side doesn't miss a race. Both my grandparents on my dad's side don't miss a race. Like, I have an amazing support system, and my grandpa. He'll drive. Like, if we said we're going to race in Nova Scotia or something, 100-lap late model race, he'd say, "All right, what time are we leaving?" And he's 80-something years old, so he's an awesome dude.
Yep. I thought that was one of the first races he'd been to this year. I didn't think he had been out, so I need to pay better attention. But thanks for joining us, Dale.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Dan. We'll be live Saturday on Racing America with the APC. Second to last race of the year. 6:30 we go on the air. Spencer Lewis going to join us now from Sunset Speedway. Spencer, it shocked us a few weeks back when we got the news that the Tottishes would be stepping away. That was a bomb that dropped, man. What were your thoughts on that? And, where do we go from here?
So, I mean, it was so depressing, man. Like, I got the call from the Tottishes like 2 weeks before we announced it. And it was kind of just like they were letting us know that they were ready to retire, and that this was going to be sort of the last deal. And then it was all about, how do we tell the racers? How do we communicate it to, the teams and the sponsors and the car owners? And I didn't want to just like do a press release or something on like a Tuesday afternoon, because that felt so impersonal. So I'm like, well, let's wait until Saturday night, and we'll tell the drivers. And then at the exact moment that we're telling the drivers, we'll drop it on Facebook and update it to the website as well. So it was sort of like this, tandem deal where, as I was giving the bad news to the drivers, Brennan was posting the bad news for the fans. And then like that whole weekend, it was a double shot weekend. You're just kind of like walking through, like just numb, because you're just so bummed out that it's happening. And from there, like everyone's just saying, "Oh, but what's really happening?" And I'm like, dude, I swear to you, I don't know what else is really, like, I know that we got 5 nights left. That's it. That's all I know. And like, I don't want it to be true. Like, I want a miracle to sort of like bestow us right now. But as of right now, all we got left is 5 nights, and then that's it. Like, then the track just sort of sits.
Well, you've put together some pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty pumped up about the 2-Speed Motorsports Bone Stock event. Talk about that. Yes, and how much hype is getting built around it.
Dude, there's so much hype. And originally it was going to be, because I guess the way the 2-Speed deal worked is that fans get to vote on what division they wanted and what date they wanted. So they picked Bone Stocks, which I get, because the Bone Stocks are amazing. They've won Race of the Night at Sunset this year, I think like 4 or 5 times. But they voted it originally for our penultimate points night. And I was going to listen to the fans, because I'm like, well, if that's what you guys want, that's when we'll schedule it for. And then this weekend, I was driving home, and I kind of called everyone on the promotional team, and I'm like, look, like there's 9 points separating the top 3 in bone stock points. Like, what if we just ask Corey McAllister and Joe Chisholm Jr. and the guys over at 2-Speed if we can delay the 2-Speed Nationals to Velocity Weekend? And then that way it's just a straight up invitational. It doesn't have any, bearing on our points championship. And then ideally more cars can come, because I think the Sunday of the last dance, like every other track is off. So guys can come from all over and sort of have one last time at Sunset. So that's what we're going to do. I mean, I think we could easily get 40, 50 cars for it. And I mean, it's going to feel like Friday night at Osh Weekend, where we got, B mains, and we're sending guys home, and, so I'm super stoked for it. I know the guys at Sunset are really excited, and there's some heavy hitters from all over the province that are coming too. So that's one of those, the last dance is like a whole weekend full of races that I'm really excited for. And now the 2-Speed Nationals is like right at the top of that list, alongside, everything else that we got going on those 3 days.
Let's set up the schedule, Spencer, for somebody who maybe not be insiders like we are. You got a couple big weeks coming up. So first off, let them know what's happening this weekend for Labor Day weekend.
So this week, we're hanging out with you guys on the Saturday. You guys are bringing the APC United Late Model Series up, which is every time they come, it's just a banger every single time. Then we've got a 70-lap Superstock Invitational on the same day for $2,000 to win. I'd imagine we're going to get some guys from all over Ontario for that, plus our regular mini stock division, which I will put up against any other pavement mini stock division in the province. Like, if you're a traveling fan and you haven't seen the Sunset mini stocks yet, you're in for a treat on Saturday. And then Sunday, we just have a quote unquote weekly show as part of our championship event. It was something that got rained out a few weeks ago, and because we're so close to the end of the season and we don't know what's going to happen in 2026, I kind of went to the Toddish's hat in hand and said, "Hey, like, can we reschedule this? Can we do this on Labor Day Sunday?" And because originally we had scheduled not to have anything, so Toddish has molded over and we get to do that. So Sunday night, on the heels of the APC show the night before, we got pro late models, hot rods, modifieds, mini stocks, and bone stocks. So like a complete full card of some of the best divisions that we've got on our roster. So this is one of those pack up the camper and come hang out at Sunset sort of weekends, because Saturday and Sunday are both 100% worth your time,
What's been the highlight so far this summer at Sunset?
We talking like divisional? What division? What event?
Anything. I don't care if you had a good hamburger and thought that was your whatever you think.
We have good hamburgers. We do have good hamburgers, but honestly, I think all of our big events are always good. We had the Flying Frank 49 Superstock Invitational a few weeks ago. I think that was August long weekend, and it was the best Superstock count we'd had all year. One of the best Superstock counts I think that any track in Ontario has had. It was a phenomenal race. Colton Everingham won, and Colton sort of had this, like, he's having this huge season at Sunset where he's beating like big name guys and he's winning a bunch of races. He's in contention for the championship. So I kind of went with everything else, and his whole family was in Victory Lane, and Frank Davies' family was in Victory Lane with them, and it was a whole cool deal. But that was probably one of the best races we've had all season. Truthfully, if I go back, there's not a whole lot of nights where we've had, we haven't had a real standout event, like a real standout feature. But I would say right now, gun to my head, the Flying Frank 49 feature was probably the best one that we've had this year. That was, if I could take anybody and sort of teleport them and say, like, this is the best the Sunset has to offer, that would be the one that I would take them to.
Yeah, Spencer, you mentioned Osh Week, and you were there Friday. What does a pavement guy think when he sees the chaos our guys had to face on Friday night?
I just think it's the coolest thing in the world, man. I mean, I thought that run that you had to get through the middle of 3 and 4, like that the Westbrook line and what Darren Dryden was able to do, like that shit is poetry. Early in the night, it looked like you guys had like a Tulare curb sort of coming in at the top, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like a California feature, and then it completely changed. Watching Dryden go through those ruts like that was some of the coolest stuff I've seen anywhere all year, pavement or dirt. Like that to me was one of the coolest performances I've seen anyone have. Last week, and I always marvel at how well it's run. I mean, you guys waste absolutely zero time. One race is off the track, another one is rolling already. I mean, you guys don't screw around. I feel like it's kind of the benchmark that we're all kind of following right now. You guys are like the team that sort of goes to deep into the playoffs every single year. You're the Yankees or the Panthers or the Kansas City Chiefs or something. That's what Osh Weekend is right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I felt like we got mercy ruled on Friday. I'm like, can you just make it be over? Can we lose 11-0 already and put it behind us, man? That was painful to watch. But
I don't know, dude. I like when Jack has character, though. I mean, Osh Weekend's cool when it's slippery all the way wrong. Like, it had character.
Character is good, but that was a lot. But that's a good example because I can't stand the Kansas City Chiefs. So Clinton, you are my Kansas City Chiefs.
But they're going to go deep every year. That's what I'm saying. They're going to go deep every single year.
And I'm just going to enjoy not liking them. This is perfect.
We've been working hard to fill up our place through promos with our partners, right? And we had another banging crowd on Friday.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh, man, we showed them this. And we know we need to be better. But then when you think about what they really saw as a first-timer, like chaos, cars destroyed, people go in the hospital. Gino Duguay, by the way, he shattered his elbow, had surgery, but he's all right. The mini stock crew got hurt and taken away.
That was a lick too. That was a lick.
That was a snap roll. I don't know if you got that one, Spencer, too, but our Spencer, not your Spencer. Spencer, anything else you need to get out before we let you go? We'll get you back before we get into the Final Dance weekend, but anything else we need to know about the upcoming weeks here?
honestly, I think that if you got holes in your schedule right now, if you're a fan and you don't know where you're going to be, September 6th, September 13th, it's the last 2 points nights. You need to come to Sunset, because we genuinely do not know what's coming next year. This is kind of like, that speed weeks when everybody was trying to get to East Bay as many times as possible, like, because they knew that it was the end. That's what this is, and I'm not trying to sound too foreboding, but if you are a Sunset fan or were a Sunset fan or didn't get to really be at Sunset a whole lot, come these next few weeks and try to get as much of that as you can, just in case. That's kind of my hard sell, because we're not talking Last Dance. Right? I'm going to come back for the Last Dance. We'll talk about that cool stuff later. So that's my hard sell the next 3 weeks.
Sounds good,
That's
man.
cool.
We'll see you on the weekend.
I got you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Spencer.
Thanks, Spencer.
Whoa, we have a big weekend coming up too, Adam. For our guys, our crew, we're on again once Thursday at 7:00 with the micros. They got a few weeks left. We're live 7:30 on GeForce Friday night. 6:30 be on Racing America with the APC out of Sunset. So we're excited about that. You'll be heading on to do NASCAR on Sunday as well at CTMP. Then going down to Brighton for their doubleheader Saturday, Sunday with Connor.
Ashweekend, Moseport,
Crazy,
Sunset, Moseport, Brighton, sleep.
Used to be my favorite weekend until I got kicked off the team. I got voted off the island this year.
Which team did you get kicked off?
Well, kind of the NASCAR team.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
we both got fired from that. That deal just moved on and moved on without us, but
I'm just busting ass. But yeah, the schedule didn't align for us to get to Brighton at all. One thing, Darren asked me when we're going to announce the Smokey's Garage. Smokey's Garage is offering money for the Crate Nationals for the top qualifier. We're going to be making a big announcement about that on Thursday, Darren. So thank you for your contributions. We're getting all that rolling for Nationals weekend. The money and bonuses have started to roll in, Adam. So we're excited to get that going. Where else are we going from here?
You want to hear some more conversation about racetrack stuff? Connor and I stopped by the shop tonight after work and before the show. And we're looking things over. We pull the wheels off the car. That's normal maintenance. You get it up in the air and you look down the engine compartment. What looks strange? Like what's going on? The radiator was knocked right out of its cradle.
Oof.
Like and pushed back about 2 inches. Just things you don't necessarily expect. You're looking for any signs of a track with character. Did it bend anything? Did it twist? Nope, but it just about knocked the rad right out of the engine compartment. Just crazy to see the power of the conditions.
I think it's inevitable to think that somebody isn't going to have problems this week that'll, pop up from an issue from last week's. So we'll see how that goes.
But someone has problems every week because of something that they missed in maintenance from the week before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So all this does is magnify a little bit. Like you need to be doing your nut and bolt checks. You need to be looking at all the bits and pieces on these race cars. Like maintenance is a big deal. But I see what you're saying. Like you probably will. But every night at the racetrack, something happens that could have been prevented in maintenance.
Yeah, we had some great in-car stuff this week. Joel was on board. Loved to see all those wicked imagery, even from Friday where it was rough and wild up to the in-car stuff at Sauble. Let's talk about Sauble. That was the first time in our crew's history that we had to pull all our camera people off the roof. We had to lock down the cameras, and this is where the Wizard Spencer is a genius, because in the morning, I think he foresaw this. We put an extra camera on the roof. And I only know this because Hitch told me that. And we had a camera locked off facing each way, along with our speed shots. And when we had to call all our personnel off the roof and the race was still trying to get to halfway, like, let's face it, Adam. Well, let me just finish that sentence. Our Spencer, the Wizard, he shot that whole race, the last 10, 15 laps, all on stationary cameras, which is crazy to watch. Here's a sample of the action. And it's not our best action, but we actually had to get all our people off the roof. This is the only camera. So my nephew Blaze and Jack, so sure, my kids were the only ones going to get electrocuted. But when you look at where they were our other cameras are up high in the sky on top of the tower with an antenna lightning rod attached to it, wired to the apparatus they're holding on to. It's a recipe for disaster, but this is how we had to show the last few laps of this race because just unsafe to show to get all our people. But look at that sky, Adam. It was crazy. You couldn't see what was going on. I know you only get to see out the front tower, but the back was even wilder.
Well, the funny thing was, so we're calling the action, and then the rains came. Jamie Maudsley had to get up to do something. Jim Irvine had to get up to do something. We were locked down to one camera shooting raindrops. I think this camera is the only one we had shooting raindrops in the corner. And I'm trying to talk on our talkback button that only the trailer can hear. Guys, do we go to commercial? What are we doing, guys? Guys, that's what I was looking at. I'm like, oh my God, it felt like an eternity. And yeah, I was.
You don't know it, but the whole crew was sitting in the trailer, cracking jokes about you while you're sitting up there hoping someone will throw you a lifeline. Literally every camera guy, Joel, Spencer, Dan, we're all sitting there. But reason why, and you said, why aren't we going to commercial? We were just waiting for them to make the call, to call it and make the announcement so we could move on for the night. And it just took a bit longer because of the prolonged situation, let's call it, to sort of.
Yeah, they were talking. So let's talk about the finish of the APC race, because they went green, had a couple of close laps, and then a yellow flag came out. Well, until the lap is complete, you go back to the last completed lap. They don't take partial laps in the APC series like a lot of dirt tracks do, and a lot of paved tracks. Their scoring system won't allow for it. So on our scoring system at Ashwegan, I believe when you go yellow, it can lock the first half of the field, and then for the second half, it'll go back to the last completed lap. Like, there's options on how you can run it. They don't have that option, so you have to go back to the last completed lap. From my loose understanding of the situation, the 81 car spun out to bring out the yellow that ended the race. So he never completed lap 60. So they couldn't count lap 60 because it wasn't a completed lap. So they had to go back to lap 59, which is when Dale Shaw was leading by 1/100th of a second.
And like I said to you when you told me how they were governing it, I said, as long as everybody knows where it is, it's consistent. It's fair. You know, it's different than we do. We kind of had the situation, and I wonder how it works on the last lap, because remember last year we had a race where they had a red coming out of turn 4, but Westbrook had crossed the line, and we were disputing about whether we were going to restart this race or not because the top 3 hadn't crossed the line. Because at Ashwegan, that's what constitutes a lap for us, is if the top 3 get across the line, the lap is counted, they get their positions, everybody else goes to the position of the previous lap. Well, when only one got across the line and they crashed behind him, but then we also determined at Ashwegan, we will make the call now consistently that if the winner crosses the race and takes the checkered, crosses the finish, the race is over. We're not restarting that race.
Because that is the race. Even though we score every position, a race is meant to be won. And once somebody does what was necessary to win, whether it's to lead the 20th lap or the 50th lap or the 500th lap, if you do that, unless there's something that extends the race through an overtime situation, but if you cross that checkered flag, how do you take that back? How can you? I get why someone might
agree with what
want
you're saying. And the logic of how the rule was written and the way we were governing it last year in that situation in the heat of the moment was right, but then you have to supersede that by no, he finished. We're not restarting it. He already took the checkered flag and crossed the line. It's not like the checkered was in the air and he didn't make it to the line. He was already done, and then they crashed after the fact. So we were not going back to it. Lots of wild situations, lots of ways you can govern these races, but it is a crazy situation. That's why I don't want to be race director or score. Man, I got to send a shout out to Tim Knapp. He filled in for us on Friday, Maryville's race director, into a tough situation with the track conditions we provided him. Did a great job, and Tim, we appreciate it. I got comments from racers who mentioned that he was good on the radio and everything seemed to work out. A shout out to the Great Lakes Super Sprints and all their crew. They were fantastic to work with, Barry and Zach and everybody from their group. They had a great 2 days here in Buxton, so we appreciate what they do. Look forward to getting them back. I got to talk about last week a situation, Adam, that came up where we had the topless sprints. We were talking about a topless sprint who was saying not the greatest stuff about us in the Ush Weekend sprint side, Glenn, myself, whatever. Got a call from Dick Mahoney, said that guy is no longer with our group. It's not us. We're all good. So whatever group Mahoney's with, I believe they're the Ontario traditional sprints. They're not associated with whoever that was. So Dick wanted me to get that. We're all good, Dick. You got your call.
Does that mean you and Warren Mahoney have to be friends now? You guys, there's a bit of a rivalry there. Like there just seems to be like a thing. And I think that's healthy.
I mean, there was a rivalry. I don't see Mahoney much more in my travels, but I got nothing against Warren. We just had different philosophies on how to run 2 different tours, right? We tried to work together. It didn't work out. And now Peter's got the SOS back and everything's good in the world. I think they're doing a fantastic job what they're doing. You know, we've got everybody on the same page. No, you're trying to stir up shit because you know I'm going to get phone calls tomorrow now because of it. But
I'm just busting your juggles.
Life is good. Life is good.
If your phone didn't ring, what would you do all day? Like you work from 7:30 until midnight every Friday, and the rest of the week you don't do a whole lot.
That's so awesome. I hope my bosses are watching. I love you. I love you.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right. Let's go into the Burger Barn this week. I'm not even sure what got sent in this week. I know you sent a couple. Why were you why were you so well behaved today and up on the chip? You booked all the guests. You were sending segments in like it was a new Adam Ross day. Is that your old age setting in, or is that because you knew I was so miserable still from the weekend? You just thought you'd be generous and help out.
Little column A, little column B. I like making you react or respond, but I don't like seeing you down. Like, what fun can we have when you're down and out?
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's my deal.
We were just tired and waterlogged by Sunday at 10 o'clock at night, you know?
I mean, yeah,
Let's see
you
what we got.
You had a weekend away in a hotel. Like, who could handle that? It's like your life is a vacation.
Dude, I had a 17-year-old and an 8-year-old who had to share a bed beside me in the next 2 feet away, okay? There were 3 of us in a hotel room. There was no vacay on my schedule last weekend, okay? And one of them was a roach motel. The second was nice. I did take
you have
you
a
guys out for a
continental
night.
breakfast?
No, I don't get up early enough for that. I get the late checkout at 11 a.m. and the continental breakfast is over at 10, so we didn't make that. I'm not a breakfast guy anyway.
I feel like I haven't done my job if I don't poke the bear a little bit. Like people talk.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if you hadn't eaten your breakfast.
No, I no. But people stop us free. Like everywhere we go, someone will come along. Hey, I really enjoy watching your show. I really, don't always watch it Tuesday nights, but it's on YouTube. I appreciate it. I can watch it anytime I want. And funny, the people that come and see me are a little bit friendlier towards me. The people that come see you are a little bit friendlier towards you. They don't like the other guy. But we have to have that. It has to go both ways.
That's why nobody comes up to me, because nobody's friendly towards me. Everybody's got...
Stop it.
I like everybody's got your side. But I do get... People do like when we throw jabs at each other. Send in some arguments, other than finish line that you want us to fight about. Burger Barn has opened Thursday through Sunday in the same location. Check it out. They're open for business over there, as is Petro Plus Travel Stop, where we fuel up for all our G-Force productions. Let's look at some Burger Barn videos of the week and see what's going on. Oh, the mini stock crew is getting ready to fight each other. I've seen that before.
Oh, that's cruel.
All right, what else?
Next.
Oh, which one of us would end up dead?
I don't know. Right? This is
Is this the
brutal.
one with the pole in the middle of the track? Oh, that's a death trap.
I want to go.
What kind of waiver are you signing for this place?
None, because these people aren't the lawsuit. Yes.
Look at it. Oh. That's the Death Hell 500. I love it. Yes, wherever it is, we're going.
Yep. Oh, that's
awesome.
that's fabulous.
I like it. I like that a lot. What else?
Foster tight on the curb. Here comes Colby with just 2 laps to go. Copeland to the inside. He'll slide across the track. They get together out of turn number 2. Copeland falls back in line in second. They're coming to the white flag. No, 2 to go. 2 to go here. Car around in turn 2. He keeps it going. Now the 81 into the wall. Change for the lead. Foster, Copeland going at it as they come to the white this time. 1 lap to go. Here comes Colby with a run to the inside of Braxton Foster. Foster tripped up on the cushion, but he's got to run down the back straightaway. Copeland to the bottom. Foster gets into it. They're going to crash. Here comes Casey Smith. No, it's not Schmitz either. Who's going to get here? Holy crap. What in the world just happened?
That was wild.
It's pretty entertaining stuff, right?
Those are the same carts that we have in our top class in the open micros. Now, we don't have many of them yet. We only got 6 or 7 on some good nights, but come on out to Osh Weekend on a Thursday night. Pay your $10, come in the pits and check it out. We've got the speaker set up. You can hear the announcing. We got some great food. We actually have a pizza concession out of that sells matzo sticks and deep fried pickles and all kinds of stuff you can't get on a Friday night at the main concession. Check it out. It's pretty wild. What else we got, Spencer, in the dump file?
Let's do it.
Sammy Swindell hitting the pace truck in qualifying. Remember this, Adam? Oh! Now watch how damaged this car is. They wrote this car off bad. And the push truck. And that's why America's great. They just rope it off so everybody can come. They can make it a tourist attraction.
Yep. Good thing
They
for the
didn't
down tube.
fix the truck. They just put it in the concourse area so everybody can look at it with rope and take their picture with it. It's great. What else?
NASCAR fans roast new Xfinity rebrand. NASCAR just dropped a bombshell. Starting in 2026, the Xfinity Series will no longer exist. Instead, it'll be called the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and fans are not having it. Since 2015, Xfinity has been the name of NASCAR's second tier, but now the internet is erupting with jokes. One fan bluntly said, "We not calling it that." Others joke they'll forever call it the Busch Series. While NASCAR touts this as a major partnership with O'Reilly and the CW, fans argue the series deserves its own permanent identity, not just another sponsor's label. Whether fans embrace it or not, come 2026, NASCAR's rebrand is official, but the memes are already legendary.
Okay, Spencer. Now, that brings up a good topic there, Adam. You know, they're saying, you know, we're not happy that you keep changing the name of it. Kind of like what's, you know, gone on in other series. They feel it should have an identity powered by something or something by something. Do you agree with that?
No. Find something legit to complain about. Who cares?
Here's where I'm at, Adam, and I'll
Go ahead if you want to.
Here's where I'm at with it. Okay, I'll bring it back to our world with World of Outlaw versus High Limit. The World of Outlaws have been the World of Outlaws forever, whether it's by Pennzoil, by Federated Auto Parts, by NOS Energy. High Limit is new on the scene. But look at now, when I'm trying to look at who do we want to book at Osh Weekend, what is going to get us the most payback around here? The World of Outlaws have been the World of Outlaws forever. The brand recognition is there. now the high limit's new, so it's not a fair comparison. But if you change that name all the time and you say, "Hey, we're bringing in the high limit sprint car series," if you like, people aren't, you know what I mean? That's just where I'm going with it. I think you need an identity that can be sponsored. So I think it needs its own.
To be called Grand National cars?
Yeah, perfect. Yes, call it the Grand National Series, powered by O'Reilly. You know, something. But I think you need a consistent name for that division that they can tie the tags to. So, anyways, moving on. What else we got? Oh, this is that flagger from the other angle. Look at this, Adam. How is this not a death trap? Show it again. Now, this guy's flagging from... What if you trip on your shoelace? What if you stumble?
No, exactly.
They're going to kill this guy. This is the dumbest thing I've seen in racing in forever.
Yeah, I agree.
Crazy. All right. Can't even fight over that. What else?
What if there was a race where everyone was in the A main? How about 2 back-to-back? No qualifying, no cautions, no engine restrictions, and a one-page rule book. Just bring your car and race to win $25,000. Some say it's absolute madness, non-stop action, a must-see in person, and the most fun you can have driving a race car. We say it's the 12th annual SuperTech 600. Get registered now at supertech600.com.
When is that? We got to go to that. What do you think?
That's awesome. I want in.
The other thing I think we need to do is put together a 24 Lemons team. 24 hours of Lemons, you know, where they take the crappy cars and go out and race for 24 hours. We could have a hoot doing that and filming it.
You know who's done that? Like, who's got some history? Is Jamie Maudsley's.
Like actual on-car driving? I know they do the 24-hour iRacing stuff.
Yeah, I think they used to do something.
I'd be into that. Anything else, Spencer, in the dump count tonight? 4 more. Wow, we were busy. I didn't think we put that many in.
I think you said 1 more.
Oh.
4? Oh, okay, you were right.
Oh, look at this. This is new Musco lighting, Adam. It's like lighting with fireworks made with lights.
For promoters that have too much money?
This is Knoxville. Knoxville just put this in.
Huh.
I think it's awesome. Don't you?
I don't. No.
You don't love it?
Half the fun of fireworks is wondering if they're going to fire the wrong direction and blow up somewhere you don't expect them to.
How about those new fire bombs we got going off Rush Weekend?
A few weeks ago, you and Ryan Beagle, like both of you, kind of stopped in your tracks.
Woo! Yeah, I was like, that's the first week I wasn't expecting it, and all of a sudden this craziness, big fireball behind us. I love it. All right, keep them coming, Spence. Oh, why don't we see more drivers do this, Adam? I always wondered, maybe they are. We see drivers customize their helmets. Look at this cool way to shrink wrap and protect your custom paint job on your helmet.
That's an interesting idea.
I thought it was neat. I'm sure guys like Darren Dryden, who was on the show earlier, or Steve Lyons could get that done for you. What else?
They put a lot of clear coat on those helmets.
Curtistown has the biggest boards in the house. Quite a few cars have a few boards on it.
Okay, run what you brung, Adam. Look at the side pin on that. But look at the engine in that. What kind of motor is that? Back that up, Spencer. Show that again. That thing's like some sideways turbo. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Maybe someone else.
It's obviously a front. It's got to be a front wheel drive, right?
Yeah, the way that motor is. I don't know, man. Where's our mechanics in the house? Tell us what's going on under the hood of this thing. All right. What now? Last one. Oh, look at this, Adam. What race is this? So this is like some kind of adult soapbox derby, run what you brung kart race? This looks like more fun to me
Look.
than the Mario Kart deal.
No.
This looks like get out the tequila and go for it.
What makes you think you can't have tequila and do the Mario Kart thing?
Run that one back, Spencer. Just watch the start of this one again. This is pretty wild, man.
Jeez. It reminds me of Little Rascals.
Yes! Wasn't that the best episode ever? Oh my god. Look at how old you are. Do you know how old you sound by saying that?
Finally, something we agree on. You know, I almost sent you a link, but I sent it to Greg instead. The girl who starred on You Can't Do That on Television that wound up on Nickelodeon back in the 80s. I didn't know that show was from Ottawa, and that started in 1979.
Oh, yeah.
And it got picked up by Nickelodeon. Yeah, I did not.
Spencer, do you know what the Little Rascals are? Are you young, man? I don't know. He said yes. We're going to find that episode and show that next week. Thanks,
good.
everybody, for joining us again. It's been another good week. Wow, season's rapidly coming to a close. Get some new people out to the races. Backpack night at Oshweekon, over 100 backpacks embroidered with Oshweekon Speedway and stuff with school supplies, and the racer swag will be given away Friday. Come out and check that out. Figure out how you can get yourself a backpack. We talked about some new fan participation stuff today, and I think it's going to be fun to get that going. So come out and have some fun with us on Friday nights. Let's look at the schedule once again. Thursday at 7 with the boys, Mac and Jack. 3 weeks ago for micros and go-karts. 7:30 Friday with us live, G-Force, Oshweekon. 6:30 Saturday, Racing America, APC at Sunset. That'll do it for us, bud. Anything else you got, Adam?
No, it was a good show. Do your nut and bolt checks, folks, especially if you ran the Big O last week.
Yeah, especially your sprint cars going to Brighton for the doubleheader this weekend. You guys got a lot of laps ahead of you. We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you, Spencer, for all you do. You guys had a busy weekend, too. Spencer, I'm proud to say, when I got back to the yard, Jack didn't want me to look in the trailer. Do you know, Adam, you know how disastrous the trailer is after you or I tow it anywhere? We had to leave all the camera cases on the floor, propped open to let everything dry from the weather. And I was afraid it would just be like a scatter box junkyard pile of shit in the back. I'm proud to say, Spencer, not one box moved. Everything looked exactly like you left it when we left Sauble Beach. So that's a good thing. And then, Adam, because I got my flashlight to look in there. I'm unhitching the trailer. I set it on the tonneau cover. It's 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. Jack and I rip on out of the storage yard. I get home, can't find my phone. Jack and I jump back in the truck, drive all the way back, 20 minutes back to the storage yard now. My phone is sitting with the flashlight on in the middle of the busy road. Only been hit by one car and still works.
Your phone already sucked.
Yeah, so now I need a real one because it got smashed. But I found it miraculously. Now, had it not been 3 a.m, some crackhead would have picked it up and taken it home, but we got her back, so it was a wild weekend. And you know how I was at 10 o'clock. You can imagine how I was at 3 o'clock trying to find my phone all pissed off, driving back across town when I finally got my ass home. Yeah, it wasn't good. But we're happy and ready to go again for another week. Hang around, everybody. We got a few weeks to go. We'll be with you forever, it seems. Thank you, Spencer. Thank you, Adam. Hopefully you have a good birthday week, and we'll see everybody this weekend.